Trump's second term has reached effects far beyond American borders. The two major global conflicts taking center stage, the war between Russia and Ukraine and the war between Israel and Hamas. In early February, a meeting between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu resulted in the proposal of a new future for Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
On Tuesday, Israel broke the existing ceasefire, bombing Gaza, killing nearly 600 people in the past 3 days, 400 alone in the deadliest attack since the start of the war almost a year and a half ago. This comes after many Palestinians returned to their homes on the Gaza Strip during the ceasefire, and the Israeli military enforcing a blockade to northern Gaza. Now, Tuesday, Netanyahu said Israel has no plans of stopping.
This is just the beginning. We will continue to fight to achieve all the goals of the war. The release of all our hostages, the elimination of Hamas, and the promise that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel.
Israel reportedly consulted the White House before Tuesday's strike. The other global conflict receiving attention from the Trump administration, the war more than 3 years long between Russia and Ukraine. It's reaching effects touching people here in southern Arizona. Back in February, on the 3-year anniversary of the war, KGUN9's Joel Foster met with people in our neighborhoods to see how the war is impacting Tucson's Ukrainian community.
After nearly 3 years, peace negotiations began in February to perhaps finally end the war between Ukraine and Russia. Throughout this time, the war has impacted all aspects of Ukrainian society, including here in Tucson. Before moving to the U.S. from Ukraine, Mikhailo could see the writing on the wall.
The tension was slowly building up, and you could see and feel the encroachment of that Russian kleptocracy throughout the government and how it would operate within the country and in the business.
But the scale of Russia's invasion still shocked him.
It's unbelievable that it is happening in 21st century, where we're supposed to be living in, civilized world of the future, which is now.
Many of his friends and family serving on the front lines.
They're wounded, they're tired as hell. They're not giving up because they have something to fight for.
Hearing of the suffering of everyday Ukrainians.
All of the life has been upended. It's daily air raids, nightly air raids. The economy is, of course, struggling. It's power outages because Russians are targeting energy infrastructure.
And their resilience.
They try to maintain something, some semblance of normal life. They go to work each day. They tend to their kids. They go to school.
He's concerned about the recent discussions between the U.S. and Russia.
What worries me a lot in this is that it legitimizes Putin and Russia.
Still, he maintains hope.
I have hope. I have faith in it because there is no alternative.
Top officials from the U.S. and Russia met in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday, February 18th to discuss a possible peace agreement. However, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky postponed his trip to Saudi Arabia, saying that he didn't want to legitimize the talks without Ukrainian involvement. Reporting from Midtown near Speedway and Tucson Boulevard, Joel Foster, KGUN9.
Well, at the end of February, President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance hosted Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House. What was meant to be a chance for the two countries to make a deal ended in a tense argument.
You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Zelensky ended up leaving the White House with no deal signed. People in our community feeling the weight of that moment.
Such a terrible, tense moment, but it made people remember that the Russian aggression is still going on.
Now this week, President Trump, President Zelensky, Russian President Vladimir Putin making a headway in ceasefire talks, agreeing on an immediate pause in strikes against Ukrainian energy infrastructure.